Mr. Smith, I appreciate you coming here on such short notice.
It is a pleasure, Mr. President. I understand you need my advice.
That is correct. I have been studying Jamestown, and it appears that we are facing many of the same problems you face there. We have lots of people that are out of work, we have people suffering from bad living conditions and a lack of food, and we are not producing goods.
You are correct, Mr. President. We face many of the same problems when we landed a few hundred years ago. And if history is to repeat itself, I should think you could expect the same results we received if you solve your problems in a like manner.
I'm listening.
Well, the root of our problem was entitlement.
I don't like where you are going with this.
Well, we brought many gentlemen over here to settle, but they refused to do manual labor because they thought they were above that. To them it was almost like a pay cut. So instead of working, they just sat around.
That is not at all the case here. Let me be clear, Americans are willing to do hard manual labor. We don't need undocumented workers to do it for us.
I didn't say it was, and I did not say you did.
I'm sorry. Continue.
Well, all of this false unemployment led to all of our problems. Since these gentlemen were too good to work, we never had enough food. We didn't have adequate housing or clothing to survive the winter, and this led to a lot of people getting sick. And we also weren't able to produce goods to sell.
Though our unemployment is genuine, everyone works that can work. Let me be clear. I think unemployment is the underlying factor of all of the subsequent things you mentioned.
I think it is really good that America's gentlemen are willing to do manual labor if that's what it takes to survive instead of relying on others like we did.
Yes, it is. But back to how you solved your problems.
Well, our condition got worse and worse, so we tried to trade for the necessary materials from the Indians. Since they had all of the valuables but refused to give them to us without some sort of compensation, which we didn't have, we had to steal it.
Did it work?
It sufficed. By doing so, enough of us made it through the winters that we were able to maintain a community there.
So this was kind of like redistributing the wealth of the Indians? Let me be clear, they had all the food, you had none, and it wasn't fair for them to be well off and you not, so you were justified to take their food.
Exactly. We believed the condition of the individual or groups of individuals was less important than the well-being of everyone together.
Keep going.
What good is it for a select group of society to be well off if everyone's not? That was our motto. This is also why everything was collectivized. Everyone shared the harvest equally, even if they put no work into it.
I think we can apply that in the United States, but we have recommendations we have to seem to be listening to.
What kind of recommendations?
Some genius thought it was a good idea to make a constitution which tries to limit my power as president.
What idiots?
I know, right? I think I have an idea to try to disguise our plans so instead of it looking like the people who are completely capable of working to make their money and survive, but feel too important for those manual labor jobs, it looks like they need society to help them.
What is it?
We can tax the rich at a progressively high rate, so they are funding welfare programs for the unemployed and lazy. We can also extend unemployment benefits for, let's say, around a year. That way the rich are funding and caring for the poor, but it's indirect enough they won't really complain.
I see you, Robin Hood, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, but in a more educated manner. What does your Constitution have to say about this?
Let me be clear. First of all, I never said I was stealing, and if anyone complains about my programs, I will just say they concern interstate commerce and is for the general good of society. The Constitution protects those, or should I say the Supreme Court does.
You are a genius. Disguising your intentions. I like it. One last question, though. What do you do to thwart opposition?
I will have my puppets over at the NAACP and Jesse Jackson call them racists.
Love it.